Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1985's Sex Drive. 1985's Sex Drive. And this is directed by Chuck Vincent, and this is the back right here as well. You can see it's the Keystone State here. We have a Pennsylvania license plate that says Sex Drive on it. Now, there was another movie called Sex Drive in the might have been in the 2000s or something, which was a R-rated kind of teen sex comedy dealing with the internet and a prostitute or a girl online or something like that. So this is not that film, but that's a great film too. But this is 1985's Chuck Vincent's Sex Drive. Now, this has such people as Sherry St. Clair, Buck Adams, Sharon Kane, Taja Ray, I believe you pronounce her name. I love her. She's one of my favorites. Sheer Delight, Melanie Scott, Michael Knight, Sharon Mitchell. We have a lot of people in this film, and I cannot wait to talk about Sex Drive because this is truly, this is an awesome, awesome movie, and there's a lot going on in this film, and it's also at the same time a very simple film, which is part of the beauty of it. Now, if you've watched any of the videos that I do on this YouTube page, you will know right off the bat that I love movies that take place in one night. It's kind of just, as soon as the night starts, and then the movie ends when the morning erupts. And that is Sex Drive. Sex Drive is a film that is a night movie. It starts, you know, it's a graveyard shift film. It starts at the beginning of the graveyard shift and it goes all the way to the rooster crows and the sun comes up. You know, typically those are films that are horror films that I love that do that, like, you know, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, and there's, you know, there are many, many, many ones. There's also the film, just looking at Martin Scorsese's After Hours, and when I look at that film, actually, yes, that's a night movie, but also I got some vibes from that film in Sex Drive a bit. Just kind of the late night adventures and shenanigans and weirdness and all of the different stories and characters and things that are that this one type innocent type character is encountering as he's trying to figure out the ropes at his new job. You know, essentially this movie takes place at Joe's gas station and diner. In a way, it also reminded me of an 80s horror film called Hellgate, which is awesome as well. And also a movie called Truck Stop Women as well, which I've looked at on this YouTube page. So there are a lot of different parallels here, but this is a nighttime movie without a doubt, and it's a hardcore X-rated film. Chuck Vincent had his share of hardcore films, and this is one that never heard of before, and it's amazing. Now I want to talk about a few things here. This is a film of characters. This is a film of characters and all of their idiosyncrasies and stories within and taking place and connected to Joe's. Okay, I think of another X-rated film called, I believe, that I looked at on this YouTube page, Hot Lunch, I believe it's called. You know, kind of this central location. It's not, you know, a gas station is cool, but when you have a gas station and you have a restaurant in there as well, it becomes even cooler. You have a philosopher waitress. You have the waitresses kind of talking with each other. One waitress, you know, wants to get enough money to get married to one of the pump guys. We have this wild sheriff's wife who likes to bang everybody and she just loves danger. We have a group of rowdy guys that come into the diner portion and they're just not allowed to curse. We have a chef who has his headphones on who never knows what the hell is going on. We have somebody who wins a radio station contest. We have this crazy truck driving guy who kind of he always kind of makes his way near Joe's, but not at Joe's, but makes his way near Joe's, and you got to catch him when he comes because, well, no pun intended, you got to catch him when he comes because when he's on his way, a particular girl needs to jump in the truck, almost being driven to the truck because this guy doesn't even stop. So it seems. We have sex scenes in the back of a chicken truck with live chickens back there. We have a sex scene in the kitchen where the chef has no idea that it's happening at all because he's got his headphones on and he's cooking. We have a sex scene in the bathroom of the diner portion of Joe's that has glory holes in it. One of the craziest glory hole scenes. We have a sex scene that's taking place through the windows in the back of a van that's parked at the gas station while the driver is going to the bathroom. I mean, we got some really wild stuff going on here, and it's really, in many ways, seen through the eyes of a brand new worker, an innocent, a guy who has hitchhiked to get to this job. And you don't know much about him. He's a loner, he's curious, he's interested, but he's never sexually involved. But he's in the middle of everything. And we have a manager at the pump station who yells and trains very quickly, who is all about talking about sex and the women that he's with. So we have all these characters, all these situations, and it's just it fills the storyline of the watches of the night, the graveyard shift. When we look at the music for Sex Drive, there's really great synth-driven music in here that's kind of easygoing. It's fun. It's jazzy and bluesy synth. It's also country synth. It's also groovy and funky and a little bit sleazy, but very, very jovial and fun and laid back. And it really feels like working the graveyard shift at a place called Joe's. Okay. We also have a section of the music, though, that all of a sudden gets really freaking crazy, very tribalist, very tribal, very ritualistic, very kind of a little bit exotic and dark and surreal and weird. And that takes place during a crazy sex scene, looking at it through the windows of the back of a van. Crazy, crazy stuff, voyeuristically as well. We also have romance in this film. We have revenge in this film. We have, inadequacies, adventure, kind of adventurous, spontaneous feelings. It's all in here because it's a movie of characters. It's a movie of situations, all at the central location, all at night. Now, one of the interesting things too is that the camera angles for the sex scenes in the film, we have a lot of blowjobs in this movie, and we have a lot of interesting camera angles, whereas some people shy away from showing a missionary from behind, where you get a lot of the guy's butthole and everything. Chuck Vincent does not in this film. You're getting the guy's butt and the girl's butt. We got some great we have some some ass eating in here as well. This guy to a girl in the back of the chicken truck, which is one of my favorite sex scenes in the film. We have a crazy masturbation / then turns into sex scene with some sexual inadequacies, which turns into a dare, which turns into possible romance or love in the kitchen of Joe's. And we have it all going on here. And there's comedy in here, but there's outrageousness. And it's a very fun movie. And it's a nighttime movie. It's a nighttime movie, without a doubt, at a sleazy gas station diner. And Sex Drive is filled with atmosphere. We have a lot of sex scenes in cars in this movie as well. The majority, I think, are in vehicles. We also have forgiveness in the movie as well, and seduction, and manipulation through sex, and trickery and secrets as well. So we have a lot of wild stuff in here, and it is a brisk hour and 7 minutes long here for Sex Drive from 1985 from Chuck Vincent. This is a great movie, and this I could only get this on Video Picks, so it says from the award-winning director Chuck Vincent. And this is what it says in the back. Sex Drive takes place in a rural town at a small highway truck stop, the drive-in. I don't know why it's called the drive-in. I thought it's called Joe's. But the dinettes and the pump boys are bored until the neon sign malfunctions and starts flashing Sex Drive. Again, I don't really think that happened. That doesn't happen in the movie. But you do see a Sex Drive license plate in the film. The thrills and action are non-stop as Chuck Vincent redefines the small-town sexual urge. Now, the interesting thing is, yeah, the summary on the back of this DVD, some of the things don't happen in the movie, so really interesting. But Sex Drive is a great film, a great hardcore film from the mid-'80s, has a strong 80s vibe to it as well, and wall-to-wall music with just a few sections with no music at all, just natural sounds, and a crazy glory hole sequence in this movie as well. So when you think that you understand the sex scenes and you understand the rhythm and how they're going, then all of a sudden Chuck Vincent will shock you with a couple that get really weird and wild. We have a lot of dialogue in the movie, a lot of characterization, a lot of story, and a lot of atmospheric presence in this film. So it's really something special. Thank you so much for watching a 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 1985's Sex Drive. Please feel free to check out all my other videos on this YouTube page, as well as my own personally made films at vimeo.com/poopy diarrhea. That's Poopy diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.